Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. The Red Panda's munching on some Cheetos.
I realize it is a Cheeto.
It's not a tiger, says the chat.
Yeah, I mean, I just glanced at it. It looked like a tiger.
Show the world what you called a tiger. And I didn't even.
You didn't even
bust your balls on this one.
You just kind of sat there and you were like, yeah, it's a tiger.
Normally, I'm pretty mean about it. As an American, I'm a big fan of Cheetos. How does the European feel about the Cheetos?
It's just not as good What's-Its, really.
What is? What's-Its?
Every European we're watching, anyone from the UK, you can take my word on it.
I will send you a bag of Cheetos if you send me a bag of What's-Its, or whatever you just said.
What's-Its are nicer. They're more like puffy.
They're more puffy.
Not as crunch. You know, they're crunchy. I'm not a fan of the crunch.
Not a fan of the crunch.
And it's fake cheese, apparently.
Well, we got a guy who's a big fan of the crunch. We got Mr. Sender on the line.
A big fan of the crunch.
Sender.
How is the transition across to Sender?
Sender, go ahead. Talk to me about Cheetos and how dumb Ben is.
Cheetos are godlike. He wasn't a true American until he just ate them, and I didn't have any respect for him until now.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Ben.
Now you have a little respect from Sender. You feel better?
I do feel a little bit better about life. I can't confirm.
By the way, you are apparently Matthew Moreau. We'll change that for you again.
Matt Moreau at UMG_.
There you go. Hey, you're you again. That's fantastic.
Okay. Sender.
Sender, let's get right into it.
Oh, we should start.
Yeah.
Before we get into the official interview.
Yeah. Should we fade to black or something?
No.
Okay.
Not yet. Sender.
What's up?
How'd you feel that I carried you all morning?
Yeah, dude. I got a nice 3-piece round 11. Other than that, man, you
had a round 11
bombing
we were, what was it? I think we were like 5-3 down. Okay.
5-3 down.
I was like, all right,
walk me through this.
Let's go. I was like, let's go. Let's get hype.
Mm-hmm.
We bring all the way back to 5-5. Okay. And the team gets a
little.
little.
Back 2 pieces, but all right, continue.
All right.
There was that.
So Sender got you to 5-5.
He was playing all right. Okay. It's S&D solo. We're on the attacking side. I'm like, guys, let's mix it up a little bit. Let's go left. And everyone's like, whoa, really? You want to head down the left-hand side lane? You don't want to go right? I was like, let's do it. I'm running. Got my IMR out, of course.
You're aiming.
Of course.
Yeah.
With one clip. This was the impressive part about it. One clip. I'm like,
solo clip.
First blood, second blood, third blood. And then everyone's like, oh! And I was like, yeah, I know, I'm good.
And then you died.
No, I got the ace.
All right, now you're gassing it.
I got the ace, didn't I?
No, I did. I got the last kill, man. Now you're gassing it, dude. I gave you the credit. Now,
thanks
bad guy
for
Sender.
keeping him in check, Sender. I haven't been on the show as often recently, and I feel like this guy next to me is getting a little out of hand.
He's getting really delusional lately.
He's a little true
We played
stretcher.
well. We only lost, I think, like 2 maps all morning. So.
All right, so let's jump into the action with Sender now that we have you on the show. Sender, you caught Ben and I way off guard. I was blown away last week when I heard the news that you had officially left Aware to join up with Rise Nation. Of course, Rise announcing last week on, I believe it's Sunday, that Wheat's no longer with the team following the 5K, and then they played with Perplex. Now, Rise with Perplex, I feel like they did pretty good last week. They went 4-2 on the week with Perplex subbing in. But after that, we saw you were officially playing with these guys starting on Saturday.
But we should stress as well that what made it even weirder was we could see the change coming from Aware. We could see you leaving that team due to, Happy not being able to for champs, right? We were kind of sat there saying, all right, this is a team which needs to make a change. But that was not the change we thought. Like, you going to another team with an under 18 player. Like, first of all, the question I know a lot of people are going to want to hear the answer to is, what made you change from a team which was illegible for COD champs to another team which was still illegible?
Well, it's not like I had that many offers as a player, and I never really hit up anybody.
Okay.
And I know, honestly, with my team on Aware, just the players, I just didn't really feel like I was meshing with anymore, and it was more of a struggle to play and try to get better rather than just playing and kind of having fun and just overall actually winning. It was a struggle to win, and I don't like that. I feel like we didn't go as hard when we played, or any opportunity that we had to play, we just didn't really take it, and just not really about the grind. And I just wanted a team that I was really comfortable with and just kind of focused on playoffs. And obviously Champs is a big thing too, which we're gonna situate. But also I feel like Pack and Diabolic as players for Champs, I'd think highly, a lot more highly of the team with, rather than accuracy and Lawless.
Yeah, so talk to me about this. Of course, Noble looking so good, Season 3 playoffs. You win there. Then Noble breaks up, everyone going different directions. You end up building a brand new team. That kind of shocked us at the start. And that team went on to
like that was crazy
to look very good in the online tournaments. You finished top 16 at the Columbus Open. First of all, how did you even pick up accuracy and Lawless to begin with, and what kind of changed throughout season 1 that you guys kind of went in your different directions here?
I mean, the beginning of the game, it was kind of just slang power and battles. Like, nobody really knew how to play the game yet, and I played a couple tournaments with them even before like Noble dropped us, and I won like both tournaments with them, like pretty convincingly against like everybody. Like, so I was just kind of like, after I got dropped from Noble, I didn't really want to hesitate to make a move because I didn't want to be in a position not even like really find a decent team for Columbus. So then I kind of just hit them up after the org like just dropped them and said, hey, like, you want a team, I'll be able to find an org too. That's pretty much what happened. And then after that, after Columbus, the meta kind of changed because of the ASM buff, and people started like learning how to play the game, and I feel like we just weren't adapting as well as we should have, and just kind of struggling, to be honest.
What was it about the ASM 1 and the meta change that caused problems for Aware? Because you guys were at the top of the leaderboard after week 1.
4-0 stop.
And then after that ASM 1, you said, metagame changed, and we definitely saw the results reflecting that as Aware kind of started falling down in our leaderboard.
Yeah, the beginning of the week, we played, I think, like the bottom 5 teams in the league right now. We didn't play anybody like that great. Like, we kind of smoked them, and we were like I think we were just riding too high on confidence. And I kind of told them, like, listen, like, we're going to have losses in the league, and it's going to kill us, like, but we got to make sure we stay composed through it. And then after the first week, I think we had like an 0-2 day versus like 2 really good teams. And then my teammates like didn't really know like how to react, and then we just kind of, since then, like, it just really wasn't the same. Like, after the losses that we started to have, it kind of had a chain effect. Then we started getting 1-1s, and nothing really like that helped us get back to a positive record, which we started with in the league.
Was it after UMG that you knew you wanted out, or were you thinking about leaving prior to UMG?
It wasn't even like at UMG. I wasn't really like thinking of leaving. It was just mainly after the day on Monday this week or last week that I decided, like, after our league matches, that I can't be on this team anymore.
Gotcha. So you were thinking about this before the COD Champs announcements, all of that, right?
Yeah.
So that would kind of explain part of the reasoning.
Right.
So Chino, was he the reason you wanted to go to Rise right away? Let's be honest, because we know how good you two were together back at Noble.
Yeah. He's a big reason, to be honest. And on top of that, I teamed with Diabolic for like 5 events and didn't really see success with them as much as I thought we would. When I teamed with them, it was mainly because of like the teammates we had and the situations we get put in. And I feel like teaming with him again is like a big sigh of relief because I really miss teaming with him. He's an amazing player, really underrated. And just teaming with Chino again, just really like, I don't know, he's my duo, man. Like,
yep.
I just love teaming with the guy.
Well, it shows that you guys have some natural chemistry. Your first tournament with Rise Nation, you take them to their first finals in Advanced Warfare. I was kind of blown away by your immediate success. You took out TK in that run. You finally matched up against Optic Gaming, who ended your run, but it was a fantastic day on Saturday. Lots of potential with this Rise roster, but you now know that Chino is unavailable for Champs. Is the whole team's focus right now on Season 1, or are you guys starting to look forward to that $1 million tournament and think about that when deciding this week's starting roster, next week, and the week after starting roster here in Season 1?
I think we're kind of going to see if any roster changes happen to see if there's any players we can potentially pull.
Okay.
But other than that, like, just making sure we become positive in the league. Like, yesterday we didn't have that good of a day. It just kind of everybody was kind of playing off, but today it's going to change. We're going to do really good today. But I feel like as long as we pick up a solid player and have enough time to get chemistry with, because like the qualifier for like, top teams isn't like that hard to go through, especially with a higher seed. So it's not like a huge concern to me, but I'm still obviously going to go hard in it, but it's not like a huge concern to me.
Okay.
And then we'll take that time from the COD Champs qualifier, because that's like literally the day after the season, like, league ends.
Yeah, Feb 7th.
Yeah.
That's Saturday.
So we're going to take that day really to, like, we're obviously going to have our player ready, and we take that day up until regionals to just grind with them.
How soon are you thinking of trying to find that player? Because
as soon as possible.
Yesterday we had Zoomer and Saints came on the show.
Yep.
And they were just saying, hey, we're not making any team changes. which came as a massive, massive surprise to a lot of people.
Yeah, everyone thought Denial was going different directions.
We thought there was going to be team changes 100%, and they kind of came out and were like, no, we're not making any team changes. So immediately, other players start, trying to figure out other options. So my question to you is, really, how soon are you looking for that fourth, though? Because it would be horrible if you kind of waited out and you were like so focused on the season that all these other trades go on and you're kind of left out, and next thing you know, you're playing with someone like Puckett.
I'm really good.
I have faith in Puckett.
Really? I don't.
I can get us top 16. Trust me, I know the guys who run the brackets.
That's true, actually. I didn't think about that. He's your new pick. No, but in all seriousness, I mean, are you basically just going to react as soon as trades start happening? I mean, I assume you guys are trying to do something.
Yeah, no, we have people in mind that we're going to pick up, but it's nothing we want to jump the gun with right away just to see if any other offers come our way. But honestly, right now, it's just kind of, we're not waiting too long. We're probably going to decide within probably a week from now just to make sure that we have a person 100% that we're going to play with for champs, because don't really want to make a wrong decision when $1 million is online.
Oh, I hear you there.
A lot of money, right?
I hear you there. Senator, talk to me a little bit about attitudes. When I was listening in with Aware, you were kind of quiet a lot of times. You would hear kind of Lawless getting a little bit fiery with the team. Everyone else seems pretty laid back. What is the communication like over on Rise now compared to your former team?
I mean, on my former team, it would be a lot of arguing that we'd have, but it wasn't always like bad arguing. Like, some arguing is good.
Right.
But the bad arguing we would have, like, it would always pile up, and it would always pretty much be like Lawless arguing about something, but then me and Accuracy kind of going at it, and Happy just kind of chilling there. Like,
I'd be like, dude, I slay outside the hill. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, honestly, it was just kind of like, I don't know. It was just a lot of internal problems, and I feel like it was something that I couldn't fix. And honestly, like, I wasn't really quiet a lot of the time, but sometimes when I was quiet, it was just because, like, I just had a massive headache. Like, I was just kind of fed up with the situation.
Just the frustration.
Makes sense.
And then on this team, honestly, like, Cheeto has those moments where it's not, like, the best of attitudes because he's just a person that hates losing, and he's an amazing player that really just wants to get better. But other than him, it's really, like, really good vibes. And when I came to the team, like, they told me, like, they're not really used to having somebody on the team really, like, bringing good vibes to a team, and just helped us play better, to be honest.
That's awesome. A good sign. That's a good sign, because you guys are currently 8th in the leaderboard right now.
Yeah, it's nothing like great, but they actually started, I think, like 0-7. So
yeah, they had a very, very slow
start.
They had
a noble start.
Some of those were Game 5 losses. I remember
there's a lot of
coming into Week 3 and looking at the numbers. It was like Rise Nation 0-4 in Game 5s. They were the least clutch out of all 12 teams.
The Game 5 S&D wasn't the strongest, that's for sure. The 4 teams currently behind you right now, Sender. You Elevate, Team Caliber, Optic Nation, Automatic Reload. Out of those 4, do you see any of them making it into the top 8?
I don't know what's going on with Elevate. TK I can. That's
TK?
Probably about it.
Not
TK,
Nation?
yeah.
You don't see Nation coming out?
Nation, I mean, honestly, they're a really good team, but I feel like they put themselves in such a hole, and I don't really know what the teams they have left to play. If they have pretty simple teams to play, like if they're constantly playing like kind of the bottom teams.
Well, they haven't played Envious at all yet, I believe. Oh, yesterday was the first day.
Envious been kind of back and forth, so I can't really make that call. But
yeah,
they played the first time yesterday, actually. So they still have another 3 games against them. And of course, Envy being 6th place, you win those games, it's kind of like a double plus, right? Because they go down, you go up.
Ben's gonna force you to agree with him here, Sunder.
Why? I'm giving statistics. That's where they are. But ultimately, where do you see you guys finishing?
We're done playing gaming.
Okay,
that's good.
That's good.
So
that's definitely good.
Number 1's out of the way.
Yeah. So as long as we just perform like every day, like even if we have a couple losses here and there, we just got to make sure we always stay positive. Like that's the problem with a lot of teams in the league. Like a lot of teams that usually don't end up making it through that, they'll get really negative when they're down. And it was just kind of, especially if you lose the first match of the day, like kind of just kills the vibe. So you just got to make sure you're always staying kind of upbeat and making sure you're always like composed for the next match. Because every match is different. Like you just got to give it your all, and you don't really want to give up any easy wins that you could potentially have.
Yeah, of course.
Well,
pick up all the wins.
Senator, let me hit you with the questions the whole chat wants to know. 8 days left in our trade deadline. You got to get your trades in by January 21st. And, of course, all of the trades have to be 1-for-1, whether it's a starter for another starter or a starter for a substitute. Mm-hmm. We saw kind of you coming over to Rise as was it Perplexed who was sent over?
Yeah.
In exchange to Aware. What are some of the other moves, or at minimum, what are some of the teams you expect to see here in the next 8 days switching up?
I don't see obviously not gaming. Denial, I think they want to make moves, but I don't see it happening because of some of the it's up to the owners really, and I feel like some owners don't want to give up the rosters that they have. Like I don't think Justice is going to make moves. Like
really?
I don't
you think that Justice Squad is going to be the same?
Yeah, I think the Justice Squad is going to be the same just because of their owner, pretty much. Because I know a lot of players like always like to sketch and like move around a lot, but and nowadays it really comes down to the owners if they want to make the trade or not. And I feel like it's pretty fair because they don't want players just constantly bouncing around on teams.
Of course.
So, yeah,
it's no good for anybody except for the players that time.
Exactly. So I feel like if you're
the other half the players get screwed over. So let's talk about the Slack situation there on Justice. Not a COD Champs player, but do you expect him to be in the starting lineup throughout Season 1?
I mean, I think he kind of deserves to be, but I'm not sure what they're doing because I'm pretty sure they didn't play with him the other day. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see if they use him for Season 1 playoffs or not.
I think Slack is such a big kind of bargaining chip that if you are Justice and you're trying to make a trade, he's definitely someone that you can be like, hey, this guy is, an absolute beast.
Yeah.
So it gives you that big sort of, I don't know, beneficialness to your squad.
Beneficialness, yeah.
Yeah, why not? We'll go with that.
So I was just looking through, and actually the first sub added to the team was yesterday, and that was Facento added for Justice.
Yeah,
Facento,
he played with them yesterday.
18+. So we'll get to that a little bit later. Let's keep going through the teams. You said Optic Gaming, Denial, Justice most likely not changing. Prophecy and FaZe are holding down the number 3 and 4 spots in the Pro League. Are either of those teams safe?
Prophecy, I don't see them being safe. I feel like something's going to happen to them. What exactly? I don't know. Like you saw Chris kind of playing with Nameless, Killa, and Mir the other day in the 5K. So I don't know if that's going to be a thing or not, but I'm not really sure.
I mean,
but
they actually have Dido as a substitute. So, I mean, whether, Ollie from Prof is trying to think about trades, or whether he brings Dido in to actually start for that Prof team, that's definitely an option.
Hey, I know you're running with Strictly Business, but I need you in the Pro League instead of Parasite here.
You get replaced real quick.
Can Dido fill Parasite's role on this team, in your opinion?
No. I feel like Dido's a really good player, but he kind of doesn't fit the leadership role that team has with Parasite. Parasite's a lot. The main vocal leader of the team, kind of just make sure everybody does what they're supposed to do.
Right.
But kind of brings negative vibes to the team a lot, as you can kind of tell if you watch their streams. So it's kind of, I guess it's kind of a double-edged sword, if you will. But at the same time, he does bring a lot of winning aspects to the team.
What about FaZe?
FaZe.
Is that a team you see making roster changes? Because we know.
Yeah.
Aches and Sense are always at each other. Then you have Apathy out there making videos about how his teammates are awful.
Slasher wants to throw a right hook.
Right.
I'm not sure. To be honest, it all kind of depends on what Aches does, because I know the other three are going to pretty much stick together unless maybe Slasher gets an offer or something. But I think if Aches wants to play, they're going to stick it as a team. But if he's trying to sketch to join a different team, then obviously they're going to have a different fourth.
Of course.
Kind of relies on him.
Yeah.
All right, so FaZe Prophecy definitely on the list to watch. That brings me to number 6 before this week started. It was Rise, your squad. Not only were you brought over, we also saw Miyagi leaving AR and coming over to this Rise squad. He's officially on the roster now after the league has processed that. When do you start playing with Miyagi?
I think he's just on the squad as a substitute.
Yeah.
But
could you see Miyagi as a replacement for Chino?
Chino, yeah, I could potentially, just because of how much chemistry that I have with him and how good of a player Miyagi is at this game.
Mm-hmm. Also a member of Noble, for those watching who didn't follow the end of Ghost.
Yep. But yeah, honestly, it kind of just comes down to whatever my teammates really want to do. I can't really make a decision since I just kind of joined the team.
I was going to say, you're the new guy on the squad.
Yeah.
Understood. Let's skip past that. That takes us to Envious. Envious is really, Nameless has kind of said it publicly on Twitter. We've seen it from Clayster on his stream saying, I don't really have a team right now.
We've seen deleted tweets coming in from JCap saying we all got dropped. There's been some drama around this Envious lineup, that's for sure. You got the inside scoop
Just give us Sender's predictions. There we go.
All right, yeah. What's your prediction for the MV team?
It's so hard.
First of all, if you're Hastro, who is the backbone of your team or multiple players on this squad that you want to keep and build around?
Obviously Merc, since he's kind of just like the household player on the team. But also I would say Clay, just because of how he's really good at this game. And on top of that, he's just overall a great person to have on a team. Like always tends to every team he's on brings a lot of success to. So I'd say those two players.
So who do they look at trying to?
Well, you said it, Nameless and JCap.
I mean, they're really good players too.
With those two?
Keep up, Chris.
But if I had to assume, if they were trying to make moves, they'd probably hang on to Clay and Merc. Just assuming.
You definitely know something. I can tell.
Look at
I don't know nothing.
That hair knows
He doesn't know anything.
By the way, I just noticed, how long did it take you to get that perfect swoop that goes right around the eyebrow? Because that's not one day's work, guys.
It's all natural, man. Come out of the shower, dry my hair, boom.
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 Built-in visor. Love it. That takes us to Elevate. Aware, first of all. Aware is in bad shape, potentially, unless Perplex kind of comes in and takes over this team. You're gone. Perplex is now joining up with Lawless and Accuracy. Happy, arguably the best player on this squad, at least statistically, definitely the best player on the team. He is ineligible for COD champs. What do you think is going to happen to this Aware squad? Have you talked to these guys since you left?
No, not particularly, but I feel like they're probably going to make some kind of team with, I think, this is just from my speculation, because they have Vexed as a sub, and they just traded me for Perp.
Right.
So they might end up teaming with Perp and Vexed for champs.
Which would make a lot of sense. I mean, Perp and Vex looking very good at UMG.
Yeah.
And also, Columbus, Stunner not placing as high as they wanted to, but both of those players, solid event there. So Aware, we can definitely see Vex and Perp staying together. The question is, will they stick with Accuracy and Lawless for the long run? Elevate, this is another team in just total turmoil right now. They have Spacely just announcing he's gone. If you look at the roster, I asked the commissioner today, Spacely is still on the Elevate roster, and their team is full. Their other two subs, Fizzerp and Huddle. Huddle's ineligible, so that leaves you with Fizzerp to fill in this gap for Spacely. And Fizzerp has his own team, Strictly Business, who has looked very good at UMG in our online tournaments. Definitely a team that I at least expect to see come COD champs in that regional qualifier.
I spoke to the guys at SB myself, and I asked, you making a team change? They were like, nope, this is the team that we're attending COD champs with. So I'd be very surprised to see Fizzerp go over full time, at least, to that Elevate squad.
Yeah, I think for the champs, I don't think they're gonna. I mean, Huddle, is he underage? I'm not 100% sure. He is. Okay, so can't be him. And Fizzerp, I really don't see him leaving this team for like Killamere and Study, even though they're great players. But I think he's going to be sticking with this team, as far as I know. But I'm not sure. I think they are going to try to make some moves with trades as well.
I'm looking here. Say they want to go Prophecy, and Benson, your prediction comes true of Parasite playing with Miracles and Kill again. Really, their bargaining chips over on Prophecy are Mud Dog and Dito are their two subs.
Dito?
But yeah, if you think about it though, they're like obviously they're gonna get a player from.
Why would you not trade
Chris.
Dito though? Because then you would have Dito and Fizz, which is 50% of that SB lineup on your squad.
Yeah, possibly. It's so hard.
Then you could try and bring that roster.
Well, let's take it a step further. If you're
where's
trading,
Neslo?
If you're
Neslo
trading,
anywhere? Is he a sub? I assume he's a sub.
He's got to be somewhere, right?
Who Neslo?
Neslo, yeah.
I think it's a sub for TK.
Oh, of course, yeah, he would be, wouldn't he? With that TK. So then how do you could just trade a straight player as a sub because you have two underage players
All
at that
I'm
point.
saying is
Elevate
is in a situation where if I'm looking at it as a team owner of any of the other 11 teams in this league, I'm saying Elevate, you owe me money.
I mean,
I don't want Fizzerp, who's not going to play for my new team, and I don't necessarily want Huddle, who can't play for my team. So Elevate, do they even have the cash to back up a transaction like this?
Honestly, it just all really depends on what teams do. Like, but you have to think of it this way too.
I'm a businessman.
Teams don't have to particularly be on the same league team to go to champs together.
Very true.
That's another big thing. And if anything, teams are gonna kind of want other teams to not make trades for their champs team, or else they'll get more practice in my eyes. So
but could you realistically see that being a thing? For example, one player having two teams, has his league team, then he has his COD champs team. Because as a player yourself, how are you gonna practice for both?
Yeah, and that's a big thing. But at the same time, if a team wants to team together bad enough and they want a team for $1 million tournament, they're going to.
They're going to.
Yeah.
So. All right, TK, we touched on them. They're untouchable.
Yeah.
Optic Nation, it all relies on what is the official ruling on residency for Optic Nation and for Swanee, rather. And then we have Automatic Reload, who's honestly kind of in shambles. You lose Burns. He says, I'm done with you guys.
See, that's not really
for COD Champs. I'll play with you throughout Season 1.
That's not what he said,
And then Miyagi, who's gone.
That isn't what. But Burns definitely said it a smarter way. He basically said he's putting himself out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is what he was saying. He's like, if offers come,
I'm a free agent for Call of Duty Championships.
Right.
I'll be playing out Season 1.
I respect
with
that.
AR.
I respect that a lot because Burns is a player who's traditionally played everything by the book. He's never looked out for himself.
And they kind of let him and BL Fire build that team.
Right. And on this game especially, Burns is really good. If you forget about his past history on any COD, and if this was his first
look
COD,
at this sample.
you'd be thinking,
breakout game.
This guy is like, oh, he's up there, He'd be one of those names we're consistently talking about just by looking at his statistical numbers. So if a team can really forget about his past and, the Barnes moments, which he has, let's be honest, that's become a massive thing. you could really see him on a top team.
You can. He's honestly a great individually skilled player, brings a lot of teamwork to a team. But again, now I don't think any team is really going to be looking for a player with not as big of a name, or bigger name rather, because I mean he's a great player, but like you said, he's had a lot of moments in the past, and people really only look at that.
That's so true.
Instead of just the overall of a player.
Shame.
Yeah, it is a shame, but at the same time, it's like you're gonna go what you're comfortable with.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's just with any team. So
I do have one question for you.
Yeah.
Just going through all those teams, Sender. Who are the bottom 4 teams that are going to finish in the bottom 4 for Season 1?
AR is probably gonna stay down there.
Yep.
It's no disrespect to any of these teams.
Yeah,
it's
of course.
What I feel. I think AR is gonna still be down there unless they make a miracle run. Nation, it's kind of like either they're gonna turn up or they're gonna keep playing how they have been.
Right.
So
1-1s aren't going to get it done at this point.
So they have a question.
They're 8-16. They're -8 currently. TK's -6, but we think they're on the up and up.
Yeah, they are.
And then Elevate, you said, is another squad in trouble. Currently 8-12. They're only -4.
Yeah.
But they don't have a 4th.
Yeah, I think before the Season 1 started, I think in the interview with you, I said it was going to be ON, Elevate, AR, and I forgot what the 4th team I said was.
Said Rise at the time.
Yeah, I think it was Rise because of online. But I feel like with me on this team, it's going to get a lot better. Just overall, morale and just.
Do you see Aware slipping down then?
I think it's so hard because I think TK are going to kick up because they're obviously they're the kind of players that if they want to step up, they'll step up.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're going to be in the running. I feel like because it's still pretty early because you don't you'll know which teams are doing really poorly, but the second team start breaking maybe -4 or -2. Those are the teams that are really just kind of floating in the air. Nobody really knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, Envy's sitting at -2. Justice is at 500. Aware's -4 and Rise is -4 with Elevate. After that, there's the drop off. -6 for TK, -8 for Optic Nation, and -10 for AR.
But last season, under Noble, we were at 1 point 6-14. We ended up making it. So
Wait, what were you at?
6-14.
-8.
-8. So we started 0-8. I think we kind of bounced back a little bit, but then ended up in the same spot.
I think a lot, really, for me, is on whether we see trades or not. What actually happens to the teams like Prophecy, to the teams like Justice, Envious, who are on that bubble. There's such a big gap between first, second, and then to third. That I don't think anyone's going to catch that up. For me, Optic Gaming and Denial are going to be the top 2, whichever order
100%, unless they completely fall off, like they lose their thumbs. Like,
I mean, yeah, that's. I can't see it happening. I think it's the trades which happen within those 3 to 5 teams. How is that going to affect everything?
Also, you got to kind of think about it in the teams that have been discussing like roster changes and stuff like that. Is it going to affect kind of the chemistry of the team?
I was wondering that too, and then I looked at Prophecy's numbers last week. Prophecy goes 6-0. This is after Parasite gets on social media.
How does that happen?
Because I think there was a lot of talks with releasing a couple players on the team, and they wanted to show that they don't deserve to be off the team.
Shove it, bro.
That would make sense.
All right, Sender, we've had you for quite a while. Thank you so much for joining us. I want to let you get back to practicing. Before you go, though, if the squad stay as they currently are in Season 1, who do you think finishes top 3 at COD Champs?
Oh. Excluding yourself.
Yeah, excluding myself. You can't say gaming won't be because unless they completely choke, which I don't see happening, they're going to.
Mm-hmm.
No, I can see them, but I'm not really sure. But if the teams stay as they are, it's probably going to be like, I'm going to say like gaming. Probably Denial. And probably like, the teams are like, Prophecy's really good. Like if they kick up like they have been. Also, just name the names of the top teams.
You got Prof, FaZe, Justice, Envy, Optic Nation, Team Caliber.
Say FaZe has potential too. Honestly, like 6 of those teams, like I would say it's gonna be. Obviously, it kind of has to be, but it's gonna be whoever plays the best out of these like kind of 6 teams.
Right.
Like excluding my team, it's gonna be like Gaming, Denial, TK, FaZe, Prophecy, and who's that other team?
How do you see Nation doing?
Nation,
Ben loves this team because they have a European.
Yeah, I know.
But
if you want to sit in a room with Ben for 3 hours, he'll say Optic Nation at least 10 times.
I got faith in Swanee.
I can see Nation placing well, but not. I don't think top 3 with how they've recently been playing. I can see them placing well.
Can I ask you the final question? I advance your career 10 years right now, but everything else stays the same. You're now a team manager, and you are now going to invest in 4 players to beat Optic Gaming in the grand finals of this year's COD Champs.
Like
who do you sign to a contract at least through COD Championships?
I mean, obviously he's going to pick me, so.
Benson. Wow.
Clutch, I get 3 every time.
I feel like if I had to pick 4 players, I'd put Saints on the team.
Okay.
I'd put Slasher. I'd put. Need like a winner.
Aches.
I'd put
Don't lead, bro.
Sorry.
Wait, what did you say?
Nothing. I didn't say anything.
God, there's so many good players now, man. It's like I'd put like Slasher, Saints. Oh my God, replays, and they need kind of like I'd say enable.
An enable. Yeah. All right. Well, Ben just circled the word replays. He wants to know why.
Don't throw me under the bus.
Why do you have replays?
No, I didn't.
On that list, because a lot of people were saying it's a no-brainer to drop replays on Denial for someone like Enable and Aches. If you had that duo opportunity, would you remove Attach and Replays? But Denial, they decided to go with their captain and stick with Replays. Why do you value him as a player?
I don't really understand why Replays is still so slept on. He consistently does well at events.
Right.
Like every single one, like I've seen him play. He has off games, but every kind of person that kind of plays the role that he's kind of forced to with that team, he's not going to be able to perform the best stats-wise, but he does a lot of work for the team. He slays when he has to. He's a really good objective-minded player. He's just really intelligent, really good vocal leader. He kind of just brings every kind of aspect to winning to a team.
I like it. Well, thanks so much. That is Sender, guys. You can catch him on Twitter at RiseSender. You can also watch him tonight. You got some big matches, 7 o'clock. It looks like Rise is going to be facing off against TK. And last time, TK beat Rise 3-1, but you beat him in the 2K. So this is going to be a great rematch. And now at 8:30, you're going to be facing off against Denial. It's going to be a pretty tough matchup. The series is tied 1-1 between these two squads.
Should be good.
You going 2-0 tonight, Sender?
Hell yeah.
That's what I like to hear, brother. Good luck tonight. We'll catch you in the Pro League. That, once again, is kicking off at 7 p.m. Eastern right here on MLG.TV. For now, we're taking a quick commercial break. When we return, we got Damad, the man from Prophecy Fears, is going to be joining the show and give us a little insight of what's been going on with the Prop squad and how they went 6-0 last week.